Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to Femhead. Today I want to talk about charting while traveling. I'm getting ready for a little 10-day trip where I'm going to go to the west coast of the United States. I forgot that for a second. And I just want to talk about how I kind of plan it out, what I do to prepare, if I do anything different, yada, yada, yada. My biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is consistency is key with FAM, regardless of which method within that umbrella that you're using. Consistency is key. It's just a matter of how are you going to keep that schedule depending on where you are in the world. I take my temperature at 6 a.m. every single morning. I have an alarm set that stays set, and regardless of where I am in the world, 6 a.m. comes around, my alarm beeps, I wake up, I take my temperature, and that is that. But the one thing I do differently is when I am traveling, I make sure I make note of that in my Kandara app that I use to chart my cycle. So in the Kandara app, you have the choice to create custom data, and you can add rows or columns or whatever. You can add things in your chart to where you can chart things every single day. So I have a plethora of things that I keep track of day to day, but one of them, I think it's the very last option actually, is travel with little world emoji. And if I'm anywhere that is not my own bed, I will make sure I click that and I will write a little note, I'm in such and such place. So when I'm looking back, I have that information to take into consideration when I'm calculating where my fertile phase is. But you see, this is another reason I love the sympto-thermal method so much, is because I have my cervical fluid to cross-check my temperatures with. If I have a fever or a temperature that's a little off base, or if I'm using a faulty thermometer for the first half of my cycle, I don't have to just rely on my temperatures. I have my cervical fluid to back myself up so I'm not making any mistakes. Another perk of charting is all I have to bring when I'm traveling for my birth control is a thermometer and my phone. My phone, which I already take everywhere with me, and we all do, and this thermometer, I throw it in my toiletries bag, I suppose. I'll throw it in there, and so I have it with me, and I just bring it to the bed or whatever, wherever I'm sleeping, the back of a car, or whatever it may be, and I just have it there with me. There's no need to worry about having enough packets of birth control pills to get you through whatever length of time you are traveling, or worrying about not having enough and running out. When I was getting ready to go to Thailand in college for 5 months, one of the things I had to do to prepare was make sure I had enough pill packets and to calculate to make sure I wasn't going to run out. Nowadays, all I need is this guy. And then if I did somehow forget my BBT thermometer, I always have my cervical fluid to back me up. Once again, symptothermal, and I could then use fluid only rules. But I've never had to do that because I've never had any issues forgetting this. I've never forgotten my thermometer. It gets packed very simply, very easily. I don't forget it. And just like with normal day-to-day life, if there is a random day where I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to either catch a flight or get up to go work, I will make note of that in my chart. It's all just about being diligent and consistent and charting and making sure you write those things down. This is somewhat related, but it is worth mentioning that you can delay ovulation with things like stress, illness, and travel. Our bodies have this incredible way of knowing when your body is not in a position to sustain a healthy pregnancy, and so it's like, okay, we'll wait just a little bit till you're in a better position to where you can carry out a pregnancy. Once you ovulate though, your cycle is set. It can't be delayed after ovulation because your luteal phase has a set time frame because of your corpus luteum and how much progesterone it emits, and once it stops emitting progesterone, its lifespan ends, then your endometrial lining doesn't have anything to sustain it anymore, and that's when it starts to shed. So after ovulation, illness, stress, travel don't have an effect on your cycle, which is very interesting to learn because I don't know about you, but there was definitely this belief I had and my group of friends had growing up that you could delay the start of your period by worrying about, oh, maybe I'm pregnant, or why hasn't my period come yet? So I thought that was interesting to learn finally. Another beauty of charting and traveling is you know when you're gonna get your period, so you know if you need to pack period products. All in all, using FAM as birth control while you're traveling is not as hard as people think it is. And it all goes back to this myth that you have to have this perfect 28-day cycle to be able to chart your cycles and use it as birth control. But that's not true. These natural birth control methods are not based on the number of days in your cycle. It's based day to day on what your temperature and your fluid are telling you, and you use those things to determine whether you're fertile or not that day. And obviously there's much more that goes into it, and if you already chart and use it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you should learn about it because it's fascinating, but I won't get into that today. That's where I have to end it about charting and traveling today. Literally, this is all you have to bring. and I've never had any issues with charting or my cycle or anything like that while traveling. And that's what I have to say. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!